Hey guys, Kyle Miller here with Mortgage Brokers Ottawa, the I Love Ottawa Real Estate podcast. Obviously, if you're seeing this, that's because you listened to the first half of the podcast with Thoma, and we were talking about solar, and now you're here. So continuing on here, from the audio standpoint is the rest of that episode, getting into a lot more stuff regarding solar and solar energy, that is. And if you hang out till the end, or get to the end, then we've got a contest running for you too. So a chance to win one of a couple things. So have a listen, and we'll see you on the other side.
Okay, so how's this economically viable? Well, the other concept that I might want to introduce here is simply this. When we look at going solar and paying for a solar system, particularly if you're going to be in a house for more than, I'd say 5 years at a minimum, up to 15 years, and some people are getting to that, their forever home where they're going to buy that with their family, and some people are going from, downsizing to the retirement and having that house, right? So whatever kind of level of stability that you find, at some point in time, you made the decision to stop renting and start buying a house. Why did you make that decision? Well, houses are expensive, right? And it's on a whole other level. You look at a house, and the average price of a house in Ottawa is like $450, something like that, maybe a little bit less. Actually,
the average. I had to look at the average sales, but it's somewhere between about $390 and $425 now. Yeah. So say $400,000. I mean, that's a significant increase from the $1,000 rent that you were paying. Yeah. Right. That's like 4,000% is what that is right there, increase. Okay, how do you rationalize going from just paying $1,000 a month to then buying a house, right? Same thing with your electricity bill, right? So you're going to look at it and say, I got this electricity bill. Yeah, the system's going to cost a lot of money, but it's the long term that we're looking at. Because when you rent and you pay money, what does it go into? It doesn't build any equity, does not build any value. It's just going to pay somebody else's mortgage off, right? You say goodbye to that money once you've paid for it. When you buy a house, yes, you indebt yourself. That is true, absolutely. Yes, it is a large amount of money that you seemingly are committing to, but every month that you pay your mortgage payments, you're building some form of equity. If you leave, you can get it back.
Correct.
In the bar any real weird stuff, 2008, you can get it back because you're going to sell it and get it back.
Right.
You rent, the $1,000 is gone. You leave tomorrow, that $1,000 is gone.
You're not getting that back.
You're not getting that back.
So same concept here, bar for the fact that people really understand the value of a house, whereas there's a lesser amount of people who understand the value of a solar system, but that, with awareness, is increasing. People are starting to understand the value of solar. To look at it in that same concept, if you understood why, hey, I don't want to rent for my whole life, I want to end up buying, well, it's the same thing with solar. You got a hydro bill that you're going to pay. Instead of paying every month that hydro bill and seeing that money go nowhere, let's buy a system, finance it, okay? That same amount that you're buying, that you're paying for your electricity, you put it towards your system. It could be the same amount, or in most cases, ideally, slightly less. So you find yourself in a situation where you're paying $250 for hydro every month. You buy a system for $20,000. You make a payment every single month of $200. Right there, you're saving yourself $50 a month. You're putting that $200 into some sort of form of equity that is something that is, if you stay at your house for a while, once it's paid off, free electricity, guys. That's the crazy thing.
And and like you said, on the net metering system, it's protected.
Yeah.
So as your hydro bill would have been increasing to $275 and $300 and $325, right? You're still only paying $200, and your electricity bill is still zero.
You've got
most likely.
So
most likely.
That's where that comes in as being like a very strong financial move for a family, for residential homeowners, people who have the space for solar, people who are consuming the electricity. I mean, you're a prime candidate for it because you look at it, you have predictability in the amount that you're going to be paying back for that loan. Whereas the cost of electricity, that's not predictable, and we know it's only going to increase.
Now, one thing I'm going to mention, and maybe I don't know, you might know, you may not, right, but this is more of a thing from the strict real estate standpoint, is that this stuff is still, even though having been around for so long, solar that is still very much in the infancy of being recognized, like with lenders, with CMHC, Genworth, like all the mortgage insurers.
Absolutely.
Right. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing from a value standpoint.
Yeah.
Right. Someone puts 40 grand on their roof, 20 grand on their roof, right, and says, oh, look, like, you can save all this money on electricity, and demand $40,000 more. It's probably not happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
It's definitely probably not happening. That at this point is like putting in a pool.
Yeah.
Some people come and say, I'll give you full price because there's a pool. And other people say, I'll give you full price if you fill it in with dirt.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't want it.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing too. But I think, like you said, from a conceptual standpoint, as this starts to go, as this starts to grow, and if there's a net meter and someone said, shit, if I had bought this 5 years ago, if I got this house 5 years ago, my bill only would have been X. And look at that, I didn't. And now my bill is so much higher because rates went up like I should have.
Yeah.
Right. And the value of having that on the house is going to be a selling feature. That's what's, it's just interesting. It's not disappointing. It's just interesting as to how this is going to be seen. Yeah. Right. As we go forward. Because right now, I guarantee it, there's no added value in having it. From like, can I ask 100 grand for my house, or can I ask 120? Yeah. Now you can try, and someone who comes in who has an attitude like you and says, "Man, I got two houses the same, right? Yeah. Two townhouses the same in Barhaven side by side, the same friggin' house. They always are. Yeah. But that one's got a $20,000 solar system that has value to me. Yeah. Like I will find, we will do this. Like we will do this. Yeah. Right. But that market's very small.
I'd hate to say this, but as a smart consumer, I'd say I'd haggle them down because of the solar system. Well, and then even if it does have value to me, right?
And that's okay too, right? I mean, everybody's got to do what they got to do.
But so what you're looking at here is kind of differentiated with a pool. Obviously, pool takes up some real estate in the backyard. You got some solar system. It's on your roof. And of course, the major thing that you're looking at here is, on a financial standpoint, a pool is only going to cost you money every month, right? To heat, for the pump, etc., maintenance, whatever. All right? Solar systems generate. So they are what you'd qualify as an asset, whereas a pool would be a liability. Yeah. All right? So
for sure.
You can split them into those categories. But at the end of the day, the question is, does it create a constraint? And solar, definitely, like, in this climate, for most people, it does. You find yourself a good real estate agent, right? Somebody who's either sold solar before or understands how to actually target certain markets and niches, then you might be finding a real estate agent who can actually show this house to the right people who do place value on something like this. So, you don't go and find a real estate agent that says, it's going to be a tough one to sell. You say, well, thank you very much. I'm going to go talk to the next guy, right? Who says, yeah, I can spin this, right? And pull out the numbers, and when he gets an interested buyer, shows like what the value of solar is, because maybe they're not fully educated yet, but they need a bit more education, or they might refer them to somebody like myself who then can kind of inform them, or a video online or some sort of resource where the value can be communicated, right? So question is, like, when it'll create a constraint, but it might just shift the target market a little bit as to who's going to be trying to buy that house, right? You have solar on it, you don't want to be selling it to basically for maybe a first-time home buyer. It's probably not going to be the right person, but you sell it to a family who's looking for a forever home, then that's the kind of person who could understand and perceive what the value of having solar on the roof would be.
And who's been through the proverbial ringer of owning a house.
Yes, absolutely.
Knows what the bills look like, right? Knows that when they're looking at it, it's not just from the budget standpoint, it's like, how much does it cost to heat this a square foot, and what can we look at? What's the math we're going to do on this to make this work, right? Yeah, absolutely. No, for sure.
And of course, predictions here in terms of the adoption of solar, the understanding of value on a general basis can only increase as time goes by, right? So it's a question of when will everybody start adopting mass solar, and sometimes you'll look at it, and for somebody who wants solar on the roof, come down to buying a house, I think they'd want to buy a house that already has solar on it. It's already done. They don't need to go through the whole installation process and whatnot. You can buy a house that has solar on it that's generating X amount because you see all the price, and then the loan amount would be that much. But for most people, they're going to roll it right into their mortgage as well, and basically not even see the added expense of what solar would be.
It's true at some point, right? If you're buying it resale and it's already got it on the house, it's already got it on there, and it's not your concern is maintenance, not implementation and paying for it. Yeah. life's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's not too bad at all.
So, I mean, we can touch on that because you said maintenance, and of course, there is some level of maintenance that's required for solar systems. And what I got to say is there is maintenance. It's not a whole lot, but it's not regular maintenance. It's not like every year and you need to have a system checkup. Will there be snow that accumulates on your panel? Yeah, absolutely there will be snow that will accumulate on the panel. Depending on the pitch, you might have it slide off very quickly. Panels are dark, so they do, heat up quite a lot, and they do generate heat through just running, and so will melt snow typically. But what's not to worry about too much is that the lowest production months are when there's snow on your panels. It's pretty much the lowest production months anyways. So you're not losing out on a whole lot if the snow's up there. So in that regards, most of my customers tell them, listen, you'll have some snow on there, but you don't need to worry about going up there and shoveling it off or sweeping it off or anything like that. Just let it sit, right?
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
The majority of the maintenance that you'll need to have done on your solar system will be of technical nature, electrical wiring or something like that. And on top of that, to be able to make sure that you know what's going on with your system, you have monitoring that can be done for most people from your smartphone, from laptop or the computer, and see what the system is doing. Each panel individually output.
It's just that day. Mm-hmm. It's just where we are these days.
Of course.
You can watch this stuff.
What you expect, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not manual.
and you can even have, depending on the company that you work with here, that they can also monitor that remotely, right? And so that they could even be aware of what's going on with your system, and if it needs to, if one of the panels is under warranty, it doesn't produce quite as much as what the warranty is saying, then you can have it replaced, right? So
now, what would you say to that? So if we were wrapping this up and you were going to give some tips on how to go about just even exploring this option.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what would be some of the tips you'd give people on how to explore this option, whether it be companies to check out, whether it would be, comparisons to make, math to do? What would be some of your biggest things that you would tell people to do if they want to check this out?
Right. So number one is it's do your research. Understand the net metering system and program here in Ontario. As of now, net metering is basically sitting at, you can use the grid and offset your electricity by producing energy, but there's no incentive that's in the program yet. However, there will be one being announced, I'm assuming within 2018. And
so there is a net metering incentive that as far as you're concerned,
non-existent right now, but
should be
coming through. There's something called the Green On Fund.
Okay.
Right? So people might have heard of that, and it applies on many different things, whether it be energy efficiency, installing smart thermostats, these sort of things, all very energy related. But through that Green On Fund, some money will be allocated towards giving rebates. Most likely, you'll see a rebate on the cost of the system right off the bat. So you can buy a $25,000 system and maybe just pay $20,000 on it, or whichever. Might expect somewhere around the 30%, 20 to 30% mark. Again, these are just speculations, but understand where net metering is at. If that's been announced after you've listened to this program here, if you educate yourself, you do your research, when it comes time to actually making some sort of purchase decision, you're going to have a lot better. It's going to be a lot more points, a lot more relative to be able to make that decision, right?
And like literally, if people Googled net meter,
net metering, Ontario. Yeah,
because we don't want to get screwed up with anybody in the States because all that stuff.
So well, I mean, just go on the Ontario government website. That'll be a clear place. The IESO, all right. They're basically the governing body for all the utility companies throughout Ontario. So the ISO is actually the one who would award any sort of contract or whichever in regards to discounts or incentives.
Cool.
And you can also take a look at your local utilities website, see what's going on there, what they have on there in regards to solar, right? Because they'll talk a little bit about the process, because the process will vary a little bit here or there depending on the utility that you're working with, right? So Hydro Ottawa will have one thing, but there's, Toronto, there's GTA, there's just plenty of different utility providers, right? So do your own research. Also look at some of the other the companies that are out there, and look at reviews, look at how long they've been in business. If you see a business, that's a solar business has been along for 10 years, that might seem not very, seem like a new company. No. This is a tried and true, proven solar company because solar in Ontario hasn't been around that long, and 10 years is a significant amount of time.
So they've grinded out. They've kept their money.
Yeah.
They've been tight.
You got it.
Now they're good. Okay.
Yeah, even a business that's 3 years old, there's some potential there for having some good reviews, customer testimonials, and whatnot. And that's really what you want to look at is how people's past experience has been with these companies here. So I'll touch on sort of the bad rap that this industry in its infancy has been given. Unfortunately, when microfit was announced and it was 80.2 cents, it was just a rat race basically, where
just a race to get them on the roof.
So many, over 700 companies in Ontario just popped up and said, "Hey, we'll take your money and get."
Are you
get
kidding
a system. Me? Yeah, absolutely. Over that
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, there was tons of them. It was ridiculous.
Holy crap!
You saw many people who put in deposits and never saw them back because that company went out of business or went bankrupt. Some people, that's like some of the companies had that as a scheme, was literally just take a bunch of deposits and jet
we're gone, yeah.
here. But there's been some that have stuck around and have definitely proven that they're here to to really add value to this industry and actually connect you with this renewable energy solution here. So most of the companies that are around now are good companies that will set up a system for you, to name a few, in Ottawa we have Isolera, who's been around for a little bit longer. The company that I'd started here, Switch Energy, you take a look at them. Some other companies will specialize more in commercial, so you want to find one that has a good residential portfolio. That's when you're looking at that, then I would say do your research before you really start talking with somebody. But these companies should be able to generate some sort of proposal for you and an estimate. So I'm currently working as an independent solar consultant, and among other things, and had to kind of take a step back from the business I had started. But I'm my main sort of thing here is to get on to a podcast like this one here, raise awareness about solar, really have people understand that it's now viable to be able to do it, and start doing your research on it, and get in touch with people like myself and inquire a little bit more, because I'm definitely just a major proponent for this, whether I can connect you directly with a solution, or whether I'm just here to give you a little bit more information. I'm happy to do that.
No, that's cool. It's really neat. I really do believe, we said it before, but it's not if, it's just when.
It's correct.
It's not if, it's just when. When this takes off, when it goes. I mean, it's been coming for 20 odd years or more. But now it's way more at the forefront of what we're doing. So it's it's not if.
Yeah, I'd say that as of now, the risks of going solar, back 2009, 10, 11 were higher than they are now. One, in regards to market volatility, but if you found yourself the right company, you found yourself a sweet deal with being able to sell the electricity back to the grid. And some of those people still hold those contracts. I've heard of people getting paid $1,500 paychecks per month selling their electricity under the 80.2 cents they had for microfit.
You roll the dice, and that's what it is, right? So, sometimes it pays.
Yeah, and hey, it's all about calculated risks. So if you're going to look at the company, you make sure that you do your research on that, and of course you have a meeting with them, but check out another company as well and see what they're offering as well, because there's as a consumer, that's it's what you should be doing if you're going to be making a purchase decision that's somewhere around the 20 to 30K mark.
And when you guys at Switch or Isolera, there's some relationship there with financing this.
Absolutely.
We're not expecting people to just show up with 20
yeah,
25
right.
G's under the mattress.
The mathematical calculation that you want to be doing here is this.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Right. So sort of one of the opening lines I might say to a customer is hey, if I can find a way for you to reduce your monthly payment, essentially, for energy, shift it over, so basically give you direct savings right away, and build towards a system that will give you free energy in the future, would that be something you're interested in, right? And so that's the question is, can you do that calculation? Can you figure out, okay, how much am I consuming on a yearly basis on average? Okay. Based on that, okay, what size system would fit best for me? For most people in Ontario, you're going to be finding, probably consuming somewhere between 12 to 15,000 kilowatt hours per year. Okay. Most people float around 1,000, a little over 1,000 per month. Obviously, the month of the year will vary depending on if you're heating with electricity, it's going to be high during the winter time. Most people see a little bit more during the summer with the AC being on and whatnot. Everybody's energy needs are different. You figure out how much it is that you're actually consuming. A salesperson would be able to help you out. A representative would be able to help you out. But that's something you'd be able to figure out yourself as well. Because I know Hydro Ottawa, for example, has all that data. You can go on your account. Okay, number one tip, gain access to your online account. There's so many people I've gone to see, and they're like, oh, I forgot my password, or I just get the emails. That's how I know my bill is. Like, hey, go in there and dig around a little bit, figure out, some stuff about your own energy consumption, right? Get to know that, all right? That's kind of the first step, I would say.
Be resourceful. Be resourceful. Yeah. Can't say it enough. Be resourceful.
That's so key.
Yes.
Agreed.
Good.
Once you have that figured out, then you'd be able to figure out a size of system that would best suit you. What I would recommend is a system that on a yearly basis would produce about 70 to 80% of your energy needs. The reason why I say that is you could go for 100%, but you do have a chance within that of overproducing and not fully utilizing the credits that are then being stored. If you do 70 or 80%, you're basically using all of the electricity or utilizing it all, and then you're paying a little extra. And later on, you could add more to your system if you wanted to, but that would be what I'd say. So what we're looking at here is,
So just add to that. So keep it simple, right?
Yep.
I got a system. It's got 2 panels.
Yeah.
That produces 70 to 80% of what I need to do.
Right.
I can add a panel to that to bump that up.
You could.
But if I'm paying for the panel, why am I going to take it away?
Mm-hmm.
So start at 70 to 80%.
Yeah.
Because if you say, well, I just really don't want to pay this money, I'm going to pay for that extra panel. That's going to bump me over or bump me up to the 100 or 110, whatever.
That's right.
Right? You can add to that system.
You
Lego-ish stuff.
So it is modular in a way. You could have the foresight of it and ask that the installers actually build a slightly larger rack than what you need for your system, so that you could just click on panels after that. That would be really easy. Having to put on a separate rack and then more panels, it would be a little bit more. So it depends on the foresight you have there. Again, I say 70-80% because your energy needs might also change. Kids might move out of the house, and at that point there, you're looking at less consumption, and so 70-80% would make sense at that time, because then you'd be getting into 100% when you drop your consumption. And who knows, maybe you buy an electric vehicle and there's new technologies that come out there in terms of appliances and stuff that you'll end up using more energy. We're seeing a trend of energy consumption, but if we're making a shift to electric vehicles, then we're probably going to see some level of increase because of that, right?
Yeah.
So the size of the system, well, basically they're measured in something like a nameplate value. 10 kilowatt system is basically the average that I was selling to people when it came down to microfit, because they had sort of a cap at 10 kilowatts. So 10 kilowatt would be like, at any given time, in an hour of peak sunlight, you'd be producing 10 kilowatt hours. All right.
Okay.
For the average person with a $250 hydro bill, really, again, average numbers out here, 7 to 8 kilowatts would probably do it. Slightly more, 10 kilowatts, even 15 for people with larger houses. And if you're in a townhouse and, you really you're very stringent and keep your electricity, to a minimum, you might be looking at something around 5 kilowatt systems. Figure some of that stuff out there and figure out what size system works best for you. And at that point there is, okay, how can I structure my financing? That's where the mathematical equation really comes in is, all right, how much do I have to pay for that system? So if you've done your research, you've talked to a few different companies, they'll give you different quotes, all right? Based on those quotes there, again, some might be less, some might be more. Why is one less and why is one more? Look at the products. Like, what are the products that are being included in there? What are the warranties that are included on those solar panels, right? Most in industry standard tier 1 panels should have a 25-year warranty on the panels. And that's a performance warranty, saying that they will be at 80% efficient or above. Panels do degrade over time, like anything, of course. They'll start off at a pretty much theoretically 100%, maybe 98 point some odd percent efficiency. And then as time goes by, they will lose some efficiency. So what you want to do is okay, have people who use these panels in the past, do they just crap out really quickly? And what kind of warranty is on that, of course, and then how's that backed? You have your inverters, you have the racks as well. You want to just look into, what are the quality of the products that are in there? Because maybe the company is quoting you a little bit more. Maybe that is better value overall, and a system that'll give you less headache down the road.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. What I can tell you though is that panels do have a 40 to 50 year life expectancy on them. Like they will continue to produce. At year 40 or 50, they might be down to 60% efficiency at that time, but they're still going to be producing something, right? So that's something that is like, most people are not going to be staying in a house for a full 40 years. Once you put panels up, they're pretty much there to stay. Okay. People then ask a question like, well, new panels will come out, efficiency will increase on those ones. How do I, make sure that, my panels don't become outdated and redundant or obsolete? Well, the simple answer here is this. If they're able to meet your energy needs, either 100% or 70 or 80%, and they're able to meet that, then they're doing what you need them to do. And if other panels come out that are more efficient, well, no sense of replacing the ones you already have, because the ones you already have you've paid for, and they're producing electricity, and they're meeting the needs that you have. So that's what it comes down to in terms of upgrading. And in the future, you could, if you wanted to, you could upgrade. If you started to consume a whole lot more electricity, you could get the brand new panels and whatnot. But at this point here, better start saving right away. Better buy that house right away and start building equity as soon as you can, as opposed to continuing to rent, right?
Yeah.
You look at your cost of the system and you say, well, okay, so if I borrow for $20,000, over what period of time do I want to borrow for? What is the interest rate that I can get on that? Is that a fixed interest rate, right? Depending on that, okay, what's my monthly payment? Okay, now what you want ideally is a monthly payment that is either equal or lesser to the amount that you spend on average for your electricity every month, right? Because you might be spending $200, like say, $150 during the wintertime and then $300 during the summer, but average it out, figure out what your figure out what it is your average monthly bill will be and how much you spend over a whole year. And then cross-reference that to, okay, what's the system producing, as well as what am I having to pay in terms of the monthly payments to be able to pay off that system? How much time is it going to take to pay off as well, right? So if you've got yourself an equation where you basically are paying the same amount or you're paying less for your loan, you got yourself something that makes a lot of sense financially.
Winning. Yeah, you're winning.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's very cool. That was way longer than I thought it was going to be, but there was way more information than I expected it to be too. It's amazing how this stuff is changing, but just to try to keep up on it's wild.
Yeah.
Like people want to do it.
Yeah.
But it's always that cost that's good that they're going to look at first. But like you said, with net metering, that's an interesting game to play.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if you're convinced, I'm not saying I am or I'm not, but convinced that rates are going up.
Yeah.
Because it's very similar to mortgages actually. Like rates go up, penalties actually can become less.
Yeah.
The way they do the math.
Yeah.
So there's people right now who are saying, I gotta break this mortgage in a year or two. Rates can shoot up a little bit because I'll pay way less.
Yeah.
Call me, I'll tell you how that works, but it's true. So it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna spend 20 grand one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna spend 20 grand on hydro over X amount of years, or you're gonna spend 20 grand on this system that eventually will actually pay you back.
Yeah.
So what side of that 20 grand do you want to be on?
Yeah.
Because you're paying it anyway, right? You're going to pay it anyways. Same as your analogy. You're going to pay $1,000 a month to a mortgage, which you could sell the house and get that back with a little bit of profit.
Yeah.
Pay $1,000 a month to rent and just walk away, and that $1,000 is gone.
Yeah.
What side of the 1,000 you want to be on?
Yeah.
Right. It's no different.
So the thing is if you push it out though as well, I've done cost predictions for measuring the increases over the last 20 years of hydro, what that's going to look like in the next 20 years after that. And I'll tell you, for most people who have the average $250 hydro bill, by year 27, 28, from this point on, they've paid over $100,000 in hydro costs if it continues to increase the rate that it has been for the last 20 years. And so that's $100,000, right? Would you rather pay $20,000 right now to not have to end up paying that whole $100,000 over that period of time, right? So
if I could guarantee you that paying $20,000 today would save you paying another $100, would you spend the $20?
Yeah. Now
to keep the $80 in your bank.
Now we can't guarantee that because we don't know what the rates are, but
of course,
100%.
If you're playing the numbers, right? everybody that said gas was never going to go over $1.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, yeah. That electric car is looking way better all of a sudden.
So there's two truths that I know within this for sure is in terms of the electricity costs, particularly in Ontario here, we've only been seeing an increase in those, and they've been steadily going up because inflation, one of the things for sure, there's kind of a 4% inflation rate right there. The cost of upgrading and maintaining the grid that we have there. The trend is increased costs in electricity costs. Whereas we see a trend with solar and solar systems, the equipment around them, that trend is steadily decreasing in terms of costs.
Supply and demand.
Right? Yeah. The more people who want more solar, it'll drop more. So it's just, at one point, those things intersect. That's what we call grid parity, right? They intersect, and then all of a sudden, it's just going down in this way and the other one's going up. So do you want to be on the uphill one, or do you want to be on the downhill one?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's two good truths.
Cool.
All right, so that's wicked, man. That was awesome. That's great. This is going to be a ton of information to people to digest for sure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth it, and it's so. And even though you're not a real estate agent, it's so directly related to what we all do.
Absolutely.
In my industry, I think it's mint.
If you're listening here, you might be a homeowner, and this is some good information for you to chew on and do some research on and figure out and consider. If you're a real estate agent, know this information, especially if you're going to try to stay in the game for at least the next 5 years.
Maybe this is your new niche.
Yeah.
If you're the one.
Yeah.
You're the guy, the girl. Do this. That's your bag.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
It's coming, right? And you need to anticipate what the market is going to need in the future. Yeah. If you put yourself in a position where you can actually meet those needs before those needs really come in full force, you've got yourself something really viable, right? So as a real estate agent, I'd really urge you, do more research than you would if you were just a homeowner. And you know what? Real estate agents out there, you're also a homeowner. So figure out what that would mean for your own home as well. Do that kind of case study for your own place. And if you're a mortgage broker, and you're independent, start to figure out what it is, these equations that people are looking to do to be able to figure out the viability of going solar, right? And if you're within one of the major financial institutions, raise some awareness within your office, talk about it a little bit more, and bring it to your superior sometimes when you've got a customer saying, hey, I want to know, I want to learn about what it would mean to go solar, what kind of loans or financial options exist for me there. And the more that, is talked about within the, the walls of these organizations, the more it'll start to become generally accepted.
Well, this would be a great segue too. I actually have a guest lined up from CMHC.
Cool.
And with those, they have programs they do have greenhouse programs.
Yep.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, I don't even know what those are.
Yeah.
Although I'm about to do a whole bunch of research today. And they also do purchase plus improvement where you can get certain things added to the mortgage up front.
Yeah.
Whereas typically you can't. You can when it's a value add to the house.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how we can intersect those programs with people like CMHC, because to be able to do this right off the hop, have it rolled into the mortgage at a very low interest rate and save you money, like bang, bang, bang.
I'd highly recommend if you're a new homeowner or you already have a home but you're looking to buy a new home, look into solar and what it would mean to putting up on your roof right off the bat, because it's probably the best time that you can install solar is right when you're buying the house.
Well, and I'm gonna look at too, and like I said, that's a question I can bring to CMHC directly.
I don't know
what's the value. I don't know either, but it'd be interesting to say what's the value in this, and would you guys do this?
I don't know if Purchase Plus allows for I do know that it's generally deemed as a home improvement.
Yeah.
Like if you go and you want to have your home insurance cover your solar panels, which I might recommend. By the way, only about $100 added per year to be able to insure the solar panels on top of that.
Good to know.
But they'll deem it as a home improvement as well. And so for most people, and I think that CMHC will kind of fall in line with that. And if not now, very soon, I think they'll accept it for Purchase Plus.
Yeah, and the Purchase Plus, right? It's like, okay, that furnace is worth $20,000.
Yeah.
Well, you need that furnace. It's a dollar for dollar added value. With the solar panels right now, I don't think they are.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a matter of time. Supply and demand, it's going to fall in line.
Yeah.
It'll fall in line. It'll happen. Just hopefully happen sooner than later.
Cool.
Yeah. That was awesome, man. So we'll put whatever information you want us to put down, whether it's Switch, whether it's just to get in touch with you as a consultant.
I would say if you want to learn more, if you want to get connected with me, have some questions, whatever it is, I'm happy to help out. You can connect with me directly by email. Thoma, Thoma, Simpson, Simpson, @gmail.com.
We'll throw that down there for sure.
Actually, you know what? I'll give you I'll give you the better one here. So it's Thoma THOMA.energy@gmail.com.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's my consultant email there.
We'll plug that one hard.
Cool.
But we'll get all the information out, guys. Thanks very much for hanging in, and we will see you again on the next episode.
Awesome.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that one. It was a really fun one to do. It was long, but it was a really fun one to do. And it's just interesting to see where solar and green energy is going over the next, real near future. 5, 10, 20 years for sure. Now, contest time. Thanks for hanging in so much, and thanks for checking this out thus far. So, chance to win one of two things. Here's the thing, I need your help. To get this YouTube channel going, the easiest thing to do is to get a custom link, youtube.com/Kyle Miller Mortgages, something like that. Problem is, YouTube doesn't let you do that until you get 100 subscribers. So that's what we're gunning for today. So many people come and listen to this show every month, which I completely appreciate. And I do tend to do a lot of videos on more and more anyways on YouTube for mortgage information that it comes out as it comes out, and things I think people need to know that stem from the podcast, but also just in general. So to get that link, custom link, we need to get to 100 people, but I have no problem thank you for giving me your attention and giving me your time and hitting that subscribe button. So here's what we're gonna do. We have until February 9th to get ourselves up to 100. Because on February 9th, we're giving away a $100 Visa gift card to one of the lucky subscribers. And that's great because on the 9th, that's a few days before Valentine's Day. So trying to help you out. So if you hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment that you did subscribe, thumbs up, something, no poop emojis, but thumbs up is always cool, that you did subscribe so I can make sure I've got your proper address so we can get a hold of you and as a subscriber. And then, bam, we're gonna put you into a contest February 9th. We're gonna announce who our winner is. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do, $100. Now, if we don't get to 100, which I don't want to happen, but we are still gonna give away the people who have subscribed, gonna give them something as well. So we're gonna back that down a little bit, but we're gonna give away a $50 gift card to the keg. So it's not that bad. So $50 gift card to the keg, just for subscribing. But if we hit 100, we're also gonna give away that $100 Visa card. So there's a chance you could win both. There's a good chance you could win just one. Odds are pretty good, probably better than the lottery. So yeah, so that's it. All we need to do, hit the subscribe button, put a comment in there so I know it was you, and we will get those out to you on February 9th. So thanks again for your attention, really appreciate it. As always, reach out if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that. See you again.